Well, howdy partner. If you don't know who I am, hello, hi, how are you doing? My name is Anuli and I am a fashion and DIY content creator. So yeah, basically I like to make stuff and I like to wear stuff. So today I want to show y'all how I made the super cute cowboy hat. Kind of inspired by Solange, kind of inspired by just like Western with a little bit of glam and glitz and bling. So I'm actually doing a commission for my two good friends. They want to do this cowboy themed photo shoot and they want to have all the bling and all the sparkles and the sparklies. And I was like, all right, bet, I got you. I've already made something like this before for an Afropunk, I think Afropunk 2019. Oh my God, like 3 years ago at this point. But yeah, so I'm gonna pretty much recreate this, maybe do something a little bit differently, add a little bit more sparkle since we got a lot of sparkles that we're working with. So if you want to see how I do this, keep on watching, and of course hit that subscribe button and that follow and bell button if you want to know when I'm posting. And thank you so much for watching. All right, y'all, let's get into it.
Hey y'all, so this is what I used to decorate both of the hats. As you can see, it's quite a bit of some stuff, but definitely gonna need your hats as well as your gloves. And I also use E6000 as well as hot glue. I use E6000 for like the more finer details. And then I also had pliers and like wire cutters on hand so I can cut things, and of course scissors too. I think I ended up using the scissors mostly. And like I said before, hot glue for some of the other things that don't require like too much like detail, but just you just want to get that on there. And then I got this huge bag of Mardi Gras beads, which was super unnecessary, but yeah, I have that now. And then I got 2 rolls, 1 per hat of the rhinestone chain. So I have 2 rolls of that, and I can't remember the gauge. I think it's like 2.5 millimeters, or let me see. Yeah, 2.5 AB crystals. And I think they're both 11 yards each. And then I got this trim, which is like a sequin trim, and I use that to primarily decorate like the perimeter. So yeah, pretty much it looks like this out of the bag. And yeah, so we're just gonna jump right into it. So I have my hat set up, and as you can see, I've already done one of the hats already just to help me, you know, practice, but also like get the commission done too. So so here I'm taking my sequin trim, and I'm just going to measure out how much of the trim I needed. I clearly did not show that part, but you basically just want to you know, glue it a little bit and then measure it out, or just however you want to do it, just measure it out around the entire stretch of the brim. And then basically, or you don't even have to measure it out, to be honest. You can literally just like glue that joint as you go and then just cut it, because honestly, let's be real, who is gonna do all that? So yeah, so just go ahead and glue that trim all along the brim, and that's what it should look like. And y'all, this was like super messy, so just let you know, it is gonna get a little messy, and try not to burn yourself, because I did that like multiple times throughout this entire project, and yeah, it was not fun. But the project itself was really fun. It's just the burning part was terrible. So basically what I did after that is I went ahead and put another a second layer of the sequin trim, and I kind of made sure to fill in like the gaps. As you can see, like I sort of measured it out to sort of like, what's the word, alternate, basically just fill in the gaps. So just like move it however you see fit to make sure that there's as much sequin trim as possible. And now I'm going to take another piece of the trim. I'm going to cut off the actual sequin pieces, and don't worry y'all, I use that later. And I also have like a crap ton of sequin pieces left, because this was I bought a lot of materials for this. But basically I'm just going to cut off those sequins and just have the actual trim itself. And I'm going to glue that around the I don't know what this is called, but just like the little ribbon that goes around it. So yeah, I'm just gonna glue that in. This was kind of like a last minute decision, because I wanted it to be I was thinking like, oh, you know, maybe we're just gonna keep this like just like this like ribbon going around the hat, but I was like, actually no, because I want this to look, you know, super duper sparkly. The theme was just all out, you know, sparkles, all the glitz and all the glam, so we went with the trim around the ribbon. And then now we're gonna take our beads, and now we're going to glue those down as well. So I literally cut it not in half. Well, I just cut like one side, and then I hot glued it. And my recommendation for this part is not to have too much hot glue, because I do find that it did look a little crunchy where it should, you know, if I put like too much glue. So just put just enough, you know what I'm saying, like not too much of a glob, and just be aware of that. But overall, I was able to, like, once it dried, I was able to take out the little, you know, flyaways and things like that, as you can see. And then I did that also around the ribbon. I think I did it on the top and bottom, or maybe just the bottom. We'll see in a second, but basically repeated that step and glued. And so now I'm going to do something really interesting, quite detailed over here. This is also one of those things where I was like, okay, I need to make this have some extra oomph, even though I don't need to make this have some extra oomph. But this ended up being a way longer project than it needed to, just because I'm extra and my friends who I'm making this for are just the same level as extra as me. And so I wanted to make sure it, you know, it met the extra, you know what I'm saying? Because like, it's either go big or go home. Like we don't play it simple over in these parts. So yeah, y'all already know I had to go in and loop it and do the little loop-de-loops and all of that. So basically I'm just taking I'm using like alternating pieces, and I'm just gluing them sort of like like draping them, and then I'm just cutting off the excess. So just create these sort of drapes and alternating between the pieces so that you still have a good amount of you know, vertical sequins hanging and everything, but you also have this sort of like chandelier of sequins just wrapping around the hat as well. So I'm glad I did this, and it just like makes the look just even more elevated in my opinion. So yep, we did that, y'all. So very tedious, very time consuming, but so worth it. But this is also completely optional if you want to do something like this. So no pressure, y'all, but that's what I did. And now, of course, definitely didn't have to do this, but you know, I'm extra and we got to make this as sparkly and blinged out as possible. So I took the rhinestone chain, and then I just cut it using some smaller scissors. Actually, I don't think I mentioned it in the beginning, but these smaller scissors are so much easier to cut this kind of stuff than the larger ones. I don't know why. I guess it's just, it goes in between the rhinestones a little bit easier. But pretty much as you see, I'm just like, you know, dabbing on some glue, and then I'm just placing my pieces in between, or just like doing it like, you know, an inch apart from each other. So I didn't really have like a major method, but just bling it out how you see fit, y'all. This is literally the name of the game. Just make it as crazily accessorized as possible. And then the next thing I did, this is kind of like a tricky, but like it's up to you again. Basically what I did is I trimmed each like sequin piece, and I wanted it to kind of have this I don't know how to explain it, but like pointed edge, if that makes sense. Or like tapered edge, if that makes sense. So basically what I did was I kind of went up and down and up and down. It makes sense if you just like see what I'm doing. I don't really know how to explain it, but basically I just kind of went up and down and like sort of cut it in like this zigzagged motion. So you have this tapering or like asymmetry, is that what you would say? Sure. So yeah, this is pretty much what it looks like when I finish cutting everything. I am absolutely loving it. Definitely needed to water my plants in the back, so don't I mean, they're watered now, so I just realized that. But yeah, so now I'm gonna take some of the remaining sequin trim, and then I'm gonna put that on the top of the ribbon area. And also, again, be careful with how much glue you're using around these like more delicate areas. I know I mentioned I was going to use the E6000, and now that I look back at this, I don't remember why I needed E6000, because like 90% of this was hot glue. But if you prefer E6000, I mean, it's guaranteed to stick and stay, so you should be good. But I definitely used a lot of hot glue, so if you prefer to use hot glue, go for that. Honestly, I think the best place to use E6000 is like the what's it called, is around like the sequins or like the rhinestone chains, just because those are a little bit heavier, and I feel like E6000 will help to keep those in place. Also, there is a siren in the back, so please y'all excuse that. I live in New York. It's never quiet. But now what I'm doing is I'm basically taking my little, remember those pieces that I cut off from before? We waste not a thing over here. So I'm basically just doing the same kind of draping thing, just gluing them. And then I did the same thing with the rhinestones, just gluing it and draping it, gluing it and draping it. And y'all, like, I am so in love with these hats. Like, legitimately, like, I've done like a hat like this, kind of like this before, but not to this extent, and I honestly want to make one for myself. So you'll probably see me making something. I might do like hot pink or something. I think it'll be really fun. But I love this against the black. And here I'm just adding some extra like rhinestones just to like drip and, you know, add that extra drip and drippage and stuff like that. So yeah, that is what I did. Okay, yeah, looking good, y'all. Oh, looking extra fancy. Okay, and now for the gloves. So the hat was like pretty involved. The gloves not so much, but basically what you want to do is just put the glove on, and then I recommend using tape. I used to pin it first, but use tape, and then just tape and mark off where your hand and your wrist crease, so that you know where to start and end the amount of trim. So basically what I did was I just took the glove off and I measured out the amount of trim that I might need it, and then I cut that, and then I have, you know, my first row, and you're gonna want to make 2 of these so that you can have a front and back. So I just lined it up and then cut off, you know, measured it to the same length, and then just cut the excess off. Okay, so this is where we use the E6000, because I was like, where did I use that E6000? It was here because it's flexible. It's more flexible than hot glue, and it's stronger and like longer lasting. So especially when you are, you know, using a stretchy material, I highly recommend using E6000, so that when it is stretching over, like, you know, a person's body or like skin or whatever, it's way more flexible, and you know, you don't run the risk of like things falling apart and coming apart. But yeah, so basically what I did was I E6000'd it, and then I added the beads. Just, y'all, as you can see, I just blinged this joint out. Like, really no explanation. I just added some beads and some bedazzles and things like that, you know, that razzle dazzle. So it's looking real cute. And then I use these little clips to clip everything together. Also make sure you're working in a well ventilated area. But yeah, so that was it. This is how it all turned out. The girls look stunning. I'm absolutely so amazed and proud and honored to have done this. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Definitely don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.